Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sage 2023 Showcase. This time we got Kid Bubblegum, kick butt and shoot bubblegum, in that order. This is actually a game from the developer of Go-Go Pogo Girl, which was a pretty decent little pogo-based platformer we played back in Sage 2021's Showcase. So that's kind of neat. I figured I'd give a little mention for that. So they're back with another game a couple years later. Kid Bubblegum here says, aliens have invaded and Kid Bubblegum is too cool to let that slide. Armed with his trusty gum slinger, okay, that's a good name, I like that pun, he'll kick some alien butt and shoot bubblegum. And he has plenty of gum. What flavor, I wonder? I mean, bubblegum comes in multiple flavors sometimes. Bubblegum is specifically a flavor, but I've also had, like, watermelon bubblegum. I've had, like, mango bubblegum before. I don't know. Bubblegum is just gum that can blow bubbles, so you're gonna have other flavors. But typically, it's bubblegum flavor, which, by the way, I don't actually like that flavor of gum. That's like my least favorite flavor of gum. But Kid Bubblegum is apparently this developer's next platformer project after Go-Go Pogo Girl and Chibi Ninja Shido-kun. I don't think I played that one. And as usual, we'll deliver a healthy dose of retro platforming inspired by games from the 80s and 90s. And yes, this one has a very 90s vibe. We'll see that as we hop into the game. Use your bubblegum gun to hop, bounce, and glide through levels, fight your way through a city, a casino, and more, capture enemies and bubbles, and kick them into walls or other enemies. Okay, sounds a little bit like Bubble Bobble. Find hidden collectibles, unlock secrets, and lots of bubblegum. So put on your most 90s baseball cap and get ready to clean the streets with gum. I do not have a baseball cap, sadly, but I will put one on in spirit, I suppose. But before I begin, if you like the video, do think about giving a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, think about doing that as well. But if you really want to help out, think about coming over to Twitch. We're trying to reach partner over here, but of course we need more viewers to do that. So if you want to come by, whether to lurk or to talk, think about doing so, because it does make a big difference, and we'd honestly love to have you. We also have a pretty cool Discord community if you want to check that out. I have a coffee link if you want to help directly monetize my content, and I have a merch store if you want to buy some cool stuff. Links are all in the description, and you can check them out at your leisure. So, yeah. Watermelon gum is very fragrant. I think I just find normal bubblegum too sweet. That's the reason I don't really like it too much. I much prefer like a more fruity gum. Also, have you ever had bubblegum flavored stuff? I find that to be generally not very good, in my personal opinion. Oh, I can adjust the music in game. Well, too late for that. I already did it outside. Oh, heavily adjustable CRT effect. I'm not gonna turn it on, but I appreciate all the attention to detail of that. All right, let's do a new game. Amazing intro cutscene goes here. Cool. I'll just like visualize it in my brain. It'll probably involve dragons and helicopters. Okay, so like you can see the 90s influence right at the bat. Look at this character design. The character design alone made me go like, okay, I'll play this. Like, this is the definition of radical kid. Bubblegum flavor isn't that good. Also, it doesn't make sense since bubblegum doesn't have a flavor by default. Well, technically it does. It's just like, but effectively it's just generic sugary flavor. Is how I would put the flavor. Ah, jump would land above super bounce, I see. Oh, there's wall climbing, okay. Or wall clinging, at least. Pogo! From the other game I mentioned. Go-Go Pogo. Says cool above there. Cool. Checkpoint is I like that. The checkpoint is a gum machine. That's thematically on brand, yes. Cool. You know what? Okay, guys, all these little signs hanging around saying things like cool, and like the power-ups having all the little circly rotating effects and stuff. This, you know what this gives me the vibe of? This gives me the vibe of like 90s games from like DOS era though. DOS era like 90s and 90s games. It gives me that sort of Commander Keen vibe, you know? If anybody has actually played Commander King, I hope people know what I'm talking about. I gotta say, the previous game I played had X as the jump button because they were insane or something. And it's actually messing with my inputs right now. That terrible game we last played is actually messing with my head a little bit. I gotta get that out of my brain. I gotta scrub my brain of those bad controls. It's not here. Probably. Oh, it's not death. Oh, it's just a fall. Okay, fair enough. Like, my brain doesn't want to press A to jump like a normal person would do. Can I do a... So you can super bounce off a bubble, but it does require very specific timing. It's very precise. Not as easy as you might think. Good thing you can shoot multiple bubbles, so it doesn't matter too much, but... Gotta say, the controls take some getting used to. There's a level of precision required in the activities I am participating in. Oh, I'm a one-shot wonder. Okay. I didn't even know that. Also, I'd say the bubbles pop just a little faster than I wish they did. That takes care of that guy, I guess. Well, maybe. Okay, there we go. Gently float down with... Up. Oh! Okay, I see. Didn't know... I guess using it as like a balloon works, yeah. I have also played Commander King, but not when it was new. Fair enough. But it has that kind of vibe, because, like, those old, frickin'... Who made Commander King? They made a whole bunch of DOS games in the 90s and 80s. And the 90s ones in particular stood out. Apogee. Or id, I guess, but, like, Apogee, technically, at the time. And Apogee... it was kind of their thing to like place a sign on the level said like radical or cool or something like that because like you saw a sign, so that's cool. Like, so this guy has that vibe, right? Here's what I would say about this game: I don't quite enjoy the controls. And to explain, in my personal opinion, my jump height is terrible. Look at this. That that ledge looks very simple, but I can't even clear that ledge. So you have to rely on your bubbles for height, but you have to rely on them so much that I feel like it's kind of a bad system. And yes, you can get a super bounce, but it's actually... Here's the thing, depth, the super bounce is too precise. You can pull it off if you know exactly what you're doing, sure, but... the timing on it is a little tricky. And if you fail a super bounce, that may just kill you. Because you need that jump height. You don't really... The super bounce is required to have any semblance of good jump height. A basic bubble bounce barely helps you. So you have to get good at the super... You have to get good at the... But here's the thing, like, when you're jumping on a balloon that's a little bit above you, the timing's a lot harder to match, too. I'm getting the hang of it, mind you. So this will be less of a problem over time. I figured out too late. Oh god. Okay, I wish this game had a few more checkpoints too. Huh. Well, whatever works. Also, remember how we recently played a game, I think it was called Tower of Dreams? And the major problem with Tower of Dreams was that you automatically wall jumped when you got near a wall. In fact, you would actually magnetize to a wall even if there was a gap between you and the wall that was fairly significant. You would still magnetize to the wall, and that was the entire reason I couldn't S-rank the stages, because sometimes I would slide against the wall and lose all my jump height and just die. This game doesn't have that problem, but it has a different problem. The different problem is, in the process of me trying to time my button presses to get the bounces off the bubblegum, sometimes I'm pressing against walls while I'm doing it, and that makes you attached to walls, holding a wall jump. This, too, can kill you. I am dead. There is nothing I can do in that situation. I maybe could have shot bubbles and tried to reach them, but I don't know if that would have worked. Yeah, see? So if you have a bubble against the wall, you might not bounce on the bubble, you might just wall jump. Problematic. And of course, the bubbles disappear quickly, so you don't even have time to react, really. So yeah, I would say that I understand they're trying to, you know, use the bubble mechanics here for, like, most of the gameplay, but there, of course, the checkpoint was right there. Basically, I feel like my jump height being so gimped is honestly really frustrating. It means I have to over-rely on the bubbles to actually get height, and it will lead to situations where I will probably die. And the fact that I need to be against... the bubbles are being against the walls is very common, notice this? So there's a lot of situations where I need to be against the wall just to get a bubble bounce, which puts me at risk of a wall jump, which, in this case, is actually a good thing, but... Look at me, look at me, look at that. I tried to jump up there because I thought I could, but the jump height is so bad. Basically, they wanted you to rely on the bubble by making the jump height so low, but honestly, I don't see the point. The bubble mechanic would still be a strong mechanic even if I had a little more jump height, but if I had a little more jump height, I'd have more forgiveness for mistakes, which I think is very important, actually. For fuck's sake, just... and the fact I had to, like, make a bubble there, it's just very frustrating, you know? I also think the bubbles could definitely last a little longer. Like, let's count. Let's count with this thing. Yeah, I think that blips every second. So let's see. 3.5 seconds. 3.5 seconds. That's a little too short, in my opinion. Especially when they expect you to set up a chain of, like, 2 or 3 bubbles to cross a pit. Ooh, no, you know? That's not every second. Okay, it's longer than 3.5 seconds, then. Let's see. I'll count myself. Okay. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1000... That seems like 3.5. Hold on. I have ways to count this. One moment. I'll pull up my SNAS countdown timer. I'll simply shoot the bubble on... I have the countdown timer for myself. I can keep a look eye on it while I shoot the bubble. I'll simply press it in. Yeah, you're right. It's actually, no, it's less than 3 seconds. Hold on. Let me do it again. It is just under 3 seconds. Like, 2 seconds, 80 milliseconds. 2.80. 2.8. 2.8 is what I'd put it at, probably. That is, mind you, I am counting it from the moment I hit the shoot button. So the moment it exits my gun, I'm starting to count it. If you want to count it from the moment it's staying in the air, well, it's obviously going to be a little shorter. So, yeah, I think that's... Oh, no. Key carrying mechanic. Okay, I can't use my bubblegum while I'm holding that, so that's good. That's good. It means there's just going to be less per core of it. Okay, well, fuck you. Just gonna jump on your head, I guess. Oh, no. What? Okay, you can shoot a bubble and bounce at it. You can do that. Okay. There is enough height for that. Alright, that's good to know. You know, if I recall correctly, this game actually... It's been a long time since Super Pogo Girl or whatever it was, Go Go Pogo Girl, which was made by this developer 2 years ago. I remember that it was fine. Go Go Pogo Girl was a fine game, but I didn't think it was amazing, and I think I remember why. This developer, both of these games do something similar. Both this game and Go Go Pogo Girl have the same idea. They're different concepts, but the same basic idea. The idea is, hey, let's make a retro-style platformer, but let's have a unique movement mechanic for it. Go Go Pogo Girl, you were constantly bouncing everywhere you went because you're on a pogo stick. So you're like pogo, 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 pogo all the time. And you could obviously do very high jumps and stuff. And it wasn't too bad, but I did definitely feel like the mechanic got in the way of the gameplay sometimes. Like, yeah, okay, that's cool that you have this, like, unique movement mechanic, but also sometimes it's frustrating, and sometimes I fall into a pit because I'm bouncing too much, or sometimes I want to just stop bouncing for a bit, I really can't. And it's like, you know, I'm feeling the same way about this game. Like, yeah, okay, this is kind of a cool mechanic, but sometimes it gets in the way, and I really wish I could jump higher, but I guess I have to rely on the unique movement mechanic of bubbles to jump higher, and it's... This developer, I think, has repeated the... Like, I don't think the games are bad that they make, but I do think they're repeating the same mistake they made last time, which is basically just... Hold on, can I? No, I cannot. I was wondering if I could get, like, a boost if I shot a bubble down, because I know I can do that. No, it just shoots a bubble down, or up. And as I get the hang of the movement mechanics, it definitely gets a little easier to play, don't get me wrong. But I don't think... Like, in their games, since they're using unique movement mechanics for their games, you know what it is? It's like this. To accomplish the same action I would have to do, I would do in a normal platform with normal controls, due to the gimmicks in their games, to accomplish the same thing I would do in a normal platformer, I have to put a lot more effort in to accomplish the same task that in another platformer would require less effort. And that is kind of frustrating, because while a unique gimmick can certainly make a game more fun, if it essentially is making an experience more difficult or tedious, when you know that experience can be easier with a different gameplay style, that sometimes can lead to you kind of holding it against the game, I guess. Like, you know, it's like, okay, well, I know I could, in a different game, this would be easier with a similar setup. And so, like, you know, it kind of get on your nerves, possibly. So, in other words, if you're going to have a gimmick game, a game where your movement, your controls are based around a gimmick, that gimmick better be fun, right? Now, it's okay if the gimmick does slow down some of the gameplay compared to, like, another game similar to it, but if the game, as long as it's fun, you won't notice the slowdown, you know what I mean? So, this mechanic isn't... Here's how I put this mechanic. It's not unfun. Oh. Okay. That could have been worse. At least a reset. It's not unfun, but I personally would prefer it if I had, like, a normal jump and could treat this as a normal platformer sometimes and then use the bubbles as an assist. It kind of feels like in both Go Go Pogo Girl and this game, those games would have been better if I could also still have some normal control levels of, like, competency, but also have the unique mechanic as something I can also use when I want to. Like, I almost died there because, again, I can't jump. I can't fucking jump. So I almost died there. In other words, I guess what I'm trying to say is that in a game like this, the unique gimmick can be fun, but if the unique gimmick is replacing basic movement, you gotta really know what you're doing to make that fun. Whoops. Oh, I'm not dead. I just probably should be. Okay. So the movement here is getting a little more interesting as I mess around. Me almost dying there actually led to a more interesting situation where I had to kind of wall jump up the platform. That wasn't too bad. Like, wall jumping up the platforms is kind of fun. I can still give this game credit now then. What? Game, I'm trying to give you credit. Would you mind would you mind making it so that when I throw a key, I don't throw myself? What the hell happened there? I threw a key, and somehow that resulted in me eating myself off the ledge in such a way that I seem to somehow grab myself and pick myself up and throw myself. How did I do that? What did I even do? What the hell was that? Yeah, like ringing a book, but someone else might... Uh-oh. Ringing a book. Oh, you mean reading a book. He's just saying reading a book. You ever call up a book? Hey, book! Hey, book! You home on Saturday afternoon? You want to hang out? We can go to the movies. Hey, let me ring up Cindy. I'll see if she's available too. Yeah, okay, look at this. Actually, oh, that's what... Okay, so the game never introduced this, but if you press B, aka the key that you pick up and drop keys by pressing B. But if you press B in midair without a key, downwards kick. That's what happened. So basically, I threw the key and then tapped the button again and downward kicked myself to my doom. I'm not sure I like that mechanic. Wait, how did I land on the spring and just stand? Did you see that? I landed on the spring. I just stood on it. I wasn't bouncing for a second. That was weird. See, it kind of feels like... I don't want to be too harsh on this game. In fact, I don't want to be too harsh on Go Go Pogo Girl either. I think these games are fine. I just feel like the developer is more concerned about doing some sort of unique gimmick on top of a platformer, rather than doing a fun gimmick on top of a platformer. And it's not like it's unfun. Sometimes it's fun. It's sometimes enjoyable. But I wouldn't say it's always enjoyable, and that's the problem. Again, I feel like I'm crippled. Ha! He gums me. That's great. I love that. Ricochet. Also, this is just personal opinion, but this music makes me sad. And you might wonder to yourself, what do you mean by that? I mean that this music feels like it's supposed to be a song with energy, but it doesn't. It doesn't do it right. So it ends up sounding kind of... This song sounds like it's moping. You ever see somebody who's like... They're depressed, but they have to go somewhere, so they just kind of have a moping step. Like, they're just kind of stepping, they're hung head low. They're on the move, they're doing something, but like... They look so sad. They're clearly not... Their heart's not really in it. Like, oh man, I gotta go there, and I gotta get groceries. Like, That's this song for me. That's this song for me. It just has that energy for me. That's sort of like I am depressed energy. Like I gotta do something. I'm moving along, but man, like the problem is there's no melody. There's no consistent melody here. Like let's analyze the actual melody for a second. I'm just gonna sing the main melody. I'm gonna try to follow it once it comes back. Okay, so. Okay, you know what it sounds like now that I try to focus on the melody? This sounds like one of those kind of lame melodies that you use for like teaching piano to kids. Like, oh yeah, Jimmy, here, just play this really shitty melody to like learn the keys. That's what this sounds like. Sounds like a really basic ass melody with very little energy that you just use for like teaching purposes. That's what it sounds like to me. Like, yeah, can you play these notes? Don't worry, it's not that many notes. We're just having you play the same notes over and over again to, like, you know, keep it simple so you can string them together. It's not that many notes, though. It's not too complicated. So you can learn it. That's what it makes me think of. Sounds like it's literally holding itself back, so it's for the more sake of, like, demonstrative, educational, teaching purposes rather than actually making a good song. It's like, it's a song that seems to be trying to have a, like, oh, here's a ballad, but it's like, the notes are so bad, it doesn't go anywhere. Do 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 do. Wait, I didn't get all the things in this level. I gotta get all the things. I don't know, I've just been noticing I've been getting all the things, so I may as well get all the things in this level. It's not bad. It's not like the music upsets me. It's like, it's not like the music is like, oh, I really hate listening to this. It sounds really shitty. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that this is draining the energy from my soul because it has no life. That's. It's just kind of their music. Which is actually kind of my least favorite type of music, I gotta be honest with you. Like, it's a bit of a pet peeve of mine when I hear music like this. Hold on a second. I'm trying to figure out where the stuff I missed is. All it is da 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 ba ba da ba 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 da ba da ba da. And whatever notes work, it doesn't matter what notes are played. It's just da ba da ba 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 da ba da ba 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 da ba 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 da ba da ba. It feels so uninspired. I'm sorry. There it is. There's a secret there, I think. Yeah, it looks like it. Whoops. I went the wrong way. I was just realizing this section is totally Spring Guard Zone. Alright, cool. I got a thing. I don't know what I got. Maybe it's enough to finish the level, I don't know. And I'm sorry for focusing on the music a little hard, maybe, but... I'm simply trying to analyze different parts of this game, because like I mentioned, I feel like the control scheme is not terribly fun, because I feel like it handicaps the player to force them to use the gimmick more, which I don't really like. There, I got all the thingies. Again. Thank you for playing. If you like the game, consider wishlisting on Steam. And here's the problem. Go-Go Poker Girl was more fun than this, actually. Go-Go Poker Girl, it was a little jank because you had to bounce all the time. But, like, it also meant that you could jump really high. So it kind of worked out. Like, your horizontal movement was a little tricky, but you had a lot of vertical options. So it still was pretty okay. It wasn't perfect. I still felt like it was, like, a little slow because of how you pogoed and stuff, if I recall correctly. But it wasn't too bad, right? So I'm okay with the fact that it's sold on Steam for, like, $5 USD. I think that's perfectly fine. However, here's the thing. I know this developer puts their games on Steam, so my critiques go a little further because I know these are being sold. And it looks like, let's see, what are they going to sell this for? Okay, they've also sold this for $5. I'm not saying they're overcharging for their games or anything, but yeah, I don't know. I don't. I personally wouldn't drop $5 for this. I feel like it's. I don't feel like it's fair. I don't know. It's not unfun, but I'd rather play a lot of other platformers before I played this one. You know, I don't want to harsh on this developer too much. Honestly, they're not the worst developer. They do okay concept, and I feel like they are trying. You know, I feel like they're coming up with these different concepts and gimmicks and stuff. I feel like they're legitimately trying to make every game they make have a different experience. They're not just trying to be lazy. They are trying. I am totally acknowledging that effort. I just don't think that I think sometimes they go too hard into their gimmicks for their game ideas and not hard enough into just making the game fun. So that's my thoughts. Like, it could be way more fun than it is. I feel like the developer is plenty competent to make this fun, but they just really want their gimmick. So they made decisions like, oh yeah, I really want the player to bounce on these bubbles and gain height that way, so I'm going to make sure their jump is really bad, so they have to use the bubbles. And like, no, that's bad. You should still give the player a reasonable jump. Plus, it helps little flubs and fuck ups and stuff if you mess up. By the way, I will rescind one statement. Remember that time I was stuck on the wall and I said I was basically already dead? No, I could have actually shot a bubble, bounced on it, and then gone back to the right. I may have just made the ledge, so there was potentially a way to save myself in that situation. But yeah, it's definitely a little too finicky for my taste. But that was Kid Bubblegum, and I don't know, maybe you're more fond of the concept than me. In that case, $5 on Steam, or maybe on sale you can get it for cheaper. So you can check it out there if you're interested.